Hi all, welcome to the special edition of Professor Visa and Education Services. My name is Janish. I'm a Director of Professor Visa and Education Services and also Mara agent, Mara number 1568498. Today, I just want to talk about one particular topic which seems to be floating around with a lot of confusion. It's about the 482 visa application, now being able to apply for the 186, which is a permanent residency visa. Now, there are certain cohort that are eligible for this particular type of visa, so therefore it's very important that we go through this particular legislative criteria that was published recently in a much simplistic way, because the way legislative criteria was written is it's actually simple. However, there has been a lot of scenario which is not entirely covered by the legislation itself, which is why some of the scenarios are some of the complex scenarios are not sort of entirely covered well in the legislative changes, the instrument that sort of came out. However, I'll try to go through these particular changes in a much simplistic way so that any common ears can essentially understand in a normal language. Okay. Now, obviously, there was an announcement by Minister Alice Hawke on 25th of November 2021 about the because of the pandemic, allowing some of the 482 TSS or temporary skill shortage, short-term occupation can actually apply for 186 visa, permanent residency visa. So this is legislation is actually followed by the same press release by the Honorary Minister Alice Hawke. Now, anyways, moving on to the news. So after 30th of June 2022, a new cohort, which is a new niche sort of people, will be able to apply for the TRT stream, which is 186 visa, transitional residential stream is what we call, which is a permanent residency. Now, for the purpose of regulation, a visa holder who falls within these three categories, which I'm going to explain you in more details, can actually apply for a permanent residency pathways. So the first category is a 457 visa holder, but not just any 457 visa holder. We call it in our world specified 457 visa holder. What does that essentially means is that your 457 visa has been granted before 18th of March 2018, then you fall under this cohort. So if you're 457 visa holder, you need to double check when your visa was actually granted. If it was 18th of March 2018, then you fall under this specified 457 category, which means you just have to work in a nominated occupation for 2 years. In 3 years, then you can actually apply for 186 TRT stream. With this particular part, there is not much bigger changes, because this arrangement was actually available for 457, what we used to call as a grandfathering rules. Now, this is sort of an extension of the same cohort, because it was about to expire very soon, but I guess the government has made a smart move about just commingling these changes with the TSS changes that sort of came out will probably come out it will actually come out in 30th of June 2022. So now there has been a little bit change for 457 visa holders, specified visa holder, for certain occupations, like for example pediatrician or oncologist, like a health allied professional. There's a list of occupation which is prescribed by the immigration. There has been a change of wording as well, so it's actually prescribed as 3 years as opposed to 4 years, which is not a common scenario which you need to be aware about, but it's good to know if you fall under this category. There has been changes in the language. Now, the second category is if you are a 482 visa holder and your occupation is in medium to long-term list, you can apply for 186 TRT stream. It's a no-brainer, no major changes there, because this is what was happening anyway right now. If your occupation is in a medium to long-term list, it will eventually lead to a permanent residency if you work in your nominated occupation for 3 years. However, there are some COVID concession, which we will talk about that in later down the straight. But okay. Now the last category, which is the one that we've been waiting for, is the subclass 482 TSS, temporary skill shortage, which means before 30th of June 2022, this particular cohort were not able to apply for a permanent residency TRT 186 stream because their occupation was on the short-term list, which means essentially after finishing your 2 years 482 visa, you only had an option to apply for another 2 years renewal, or maybe apply some other eligible visa. But for now, you can actually apply for a 186 TRT stream, which is a fantastic news. So those occupation, you need to check if you have 482 visa and it's a short-term list occupation, then and the few things we got to check, which I will talk about in a minute. But then yes, those are the three sort of main category which will be eligible for these main changes. So A, 457 specified 457 visa holder, B, 482 visa holder medium to long term list, and C, which is the main one for our topic today, is the people who is actually holding a TSS or 482 TSS visa can also apply for TRT stream 186 permanent residency. So commencing from 1st of July 2022, so this is when the actual application will start happening. The applicant had been in Australia for at least 12 months cumulative. So remember, cumulative is the word here, between 1st of Feb 2020 to 14th of December 2021. This is aligning with all concession period with across the board anyway. If you think about any concession for any visa category, it always starts with the 1st of Feb 2020 to about 14th of December 2021. So you have to be in Australia for last 12 months for you to be eligible to apply for this visa application, and make sure that you fall under that period, 1st of Feb 2020 to 14th of December 2021. Doesn't have to be consecutive 12 months, can be cumulative. Okay, so there's a little bit of a difference there. And at the time of the application is employed by a person actively and lawfully operating a business in Australia. Well, that usually will be given anyway. I don't think I have to explain that any further on that one. And this is where we're kind of seeking some information from Migration Institute of Australia, and also some of the bodies of the authority or professional bodies. They are kind of seeking more clarification from the Department of Home Affairs, because there are other complex scenario that hasn't been kind of catered properly by the legislative requirement. But usually legislative requirement doesn't cover this kind of scenarios. It usually gets covered by a procedure manual, we call. So that hasn't been published yet, but we hope the government will, Department of Home Affairs, as usual, will actually publish a procedure manual which will explain a scenario. For example, someone has applied for a second 482 visa, or they finished their 482 visa for 4 years, and then now they have applied for 408 COVID visa. Can they actually apply for TRT 186 stream? These are some of the area that we would like to clarify. And also, people have 457 specified visa holders are the ones. We have also got some calls from those specified visa holders. Now they hold some other visas, so we just wanted to clarify those kind of items as well with the Department of Home Affairs, which I will bring it out to you as soon as the information is available. But for now, just remember those three categories that I just explained in this video. If you fall under that category, please contact us, or visit our branches, and we'll be able to assist you on applying for 186 TRT stream. Now, there are some good news for people who have not been able to work because of the COVID-19, or have been taken unpaid annual leave, or unpaid leave, I should say, because of the COVID. There are concession available. So this is there are some allowance for COVID-19 reduced work period. So COVID-19 reduced work period is any period during the concession period, which I just talked about, the period before, where the applicant was not employed in the nominated position on a full-time basis, or was on unpaid leave from the employment as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, but would usually have been working full-time if not for COVID. So that's self-explanatory, as I said. If you're not working you are kind of forced not to work in your nominated occupation because of the global pandemic, you can apply for TRT stream. If you're on a 457 specified, you only need 2 years, so which means 2 years minus the COVID concession period. So you have 3 months of no work. You can actually you can actually go and claim that period as well to make it 2 years, put it this way. Okay, now for specified 457, a total of at least 2 years less the COVID-19 reduction period, not included for any unpaid leave. So say for example, if you have taken any unpaid leave which is not related to COVID, will be not counted here. Okay, for any other person, like which is 482 visa medium to long term or 482 visa TSS, a total of at least 3 years less the COVID-19 reduced work period, not included any other unpaid leave. So that concession is available now. So either 2 years minus the the period that you couldn't work is fine, or 3 years if you're on 482 medium to long term or 482 TSS minus the unpaid leave due to the COVID or forced leave due to the COVID is considered. But if you have taken leave for your own personal reason and you were not paid for that, that is not counted under the concession. Look, to be honest, that's the whole crux of this news anyway. So I know there has been a lot of confusion, so I think hope this particular video has clarified the cohort of the people that are actually eligible for this visa, and further clarify the concession period for you guys. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us in our landline 9007 4409, or visit us 83 York Street, level 7, suite 702. We have branches in Canberra and Tasmania both. Or if you like, you can make a booking via phone for a quick phone consultation as well. Thank you for watching. I'll be back again with more update and news. But for today's video, I just want to concentrate on 482 TSS. So it stays in our archive in our YouTube channel as well. Okay, well, thanks for watching and thanks for sharing. Have a great one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.